In our last conversation, we talked about why choosing one path can feel like betrayal, why every option you don't choose feels like a version of yourself you're abandoning. For now, let's talk about something different. Not about choices, but about why you can't remember your own life. You may ask, I don't remember my life very clearly. Large parts of my past feel blurry. I know things happened, but I can't feel them anymore. And for some of you, that led to a frightening question. What if nothing is wrong with your memory? What if this is something else entirely? Today, we're going to talk about why many highly sensitive people feel disconnected from their own past, why your life can feel like a series of snapshots instead of a continuous story, and why this isn't a failure of awareness, but a sign of a nervous system that learned to survive. To understand this, we need to talk about modes, because your brain doesn't operate the same way all the time. It shifts states depending on safety. When you feel safe, your brain enters what we could call integration mode. This is where experiences are fully processed, stored with emotion, context, meaning. This is how memories become stories. But when you feel overwhelmed, emotionally flooded, or chronically pressured, your brain switches to something else, survival mode. In survival mode, the goal is not meaning. The goal is getting through. Your nervous system narrows its focus. Attention becomes sharp but shallow. Emotions are dampened. Time collapses into now. Psychologists sometimes call this functional dissociation. You're present enough to perform, but not present enough to absorb. For HSPs, this happens more often than people realize, not because you're fragile, but because you feel everything more intensely. A conversation that others brush off, a decision others make casually, an environment others find stimulating, your system experiences as high load. So your brain adapts, it learns. If I fully feel this, it will be too much. So it turns down the volume. This is where memory starts to change. Experiences that aren't emotionally integrated don't get stored deeply. They're logged, but not woven. That's why you can remember facts, dates, what you did, but struggle to remember how it felt to be you back then. And this connects directly to why choosing one path feels so hard. Because if you don't fully encode your experiences, you never get closure. Every unchosen path, every unfinished chapter, every half-lived version of you stays psychologically open. Not because you're indecisive, but because your system never felt safe enough to land. This creates a strange paradox. You move forward in life, but internally, you feel unfinished. Like your life is happening, but not fully becoming yours. Society doesn't have kind language for this. They might say you're absent, unfocused, or stuck in the past, but none of that is accurate. What's really happening is that your brain prioritized endurance over integration. And that strategy worked. It helped you survive emotionally complex environments. It helped you function, achieve, be responsible. But it came at a cost, a sense of continuity, a felt relationship with your own history. Now here's the important part. Survival mode is not permanent, even if it feels like it. The brain can relearn safety, but not through force and not through productivity. For HSPs, safety is built through slowness, through completion, through allowing experiences to finish. This starts with something deceptively small, letting moments end, not rushing past emotions, not immediately reframing, not asking what's next, but pausing long enough for your nervous system to say, that happened, and I'm still here. This is also why journaling works differently for HSPs. It's not about documenting your life, it's about closing loops. When you write about an experience and name what it meant, you're telling your brain, this is safe to store. Over time, memory becomes richer. Time feels more continuous, and your past stops haunting you as unfinished business. The same applies to choice. When you choose a path and fully inhabit it, even temporarily, you create memory density. You give your system proof that choosing does not equal annihilation. And this is how guilt slowly loosens its grip, not by choosing perfectly, but by choosing presently. So if you've ever felt like your life is slipping through your fingers, like you've lived many years but can't quite touch them, please hear this. You didn't fail to live your life. You adapted to survive it. And now, you're allowed to learn something new. How to live in a way that can be remembered. In the next video, we'll talk about how to gently exit survival mode without forcing yourself into vulnerability you're not ready for. Because healing for HSPs is not about intensity. It's about safety, continuity, and finally feeling at home in your own story. Thanks for being here. Subscribe to DeepMind, and I'll see you in the next one.